Once in a while, when I travel and preach on Bible prophecy, I'll have somebody come up to me and say, "Pastor, is it really that important to know all this stuff? Isn't it enough to just love Jesus and leave the study of the prophecies to the experts?" Well, we're going to notice this evening that the third angel's message contains one of the most dire warnings in all of the Bible. It's a warning so strong that it appears to be very different than what we find in the Gospels, for example. In fact, the third angel's message tells us that whoever worships the beast or his image or receives his mark or the number of his name will suffer the unmitigated and unmixed wrath of God. And for that reason, it's vitally important for us to know who the beast is, and what the image is, and what his mark is, and what the number of his name is. Because if we don't know who the beast is, or who the image is, how are we ever going to protect ourselves from this power? In other words, it is vitally important for us to understand these things so that we don't end up worshiping the beast and his image and receiving the mark of the beast and the number of his name. I'd like to read the third angel's message as we find it in Revelation chapter 14 and verses 9 through 11. Revelation 14 verses 9 through 11. And in our study today, we are going to only look at the first half of the third angel's message. And then in our next lecture, we're going to discuss the issue of the fire and the brimstone. We'll touch upon it in our lecture today, but we'll do a full study of it in our next lecture. The third angel's message says this: "Then a third angel followed them," that is the first two angels, "saying with a loud voice, 'If anyone worships the beast and his image and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation.'" Now this is the portion that we're going to study today. The rest of the verse we're going to take a look at in our next lecture. I'm going to read it. "He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night who worships the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name." You tell me, is it important for us to know who the beast is? Absolutely. Is it vital for us to know what the image to the beast is? Absolutely, because if we don't know, we probably will end up worshiping these powers. Now, I'd like to take you just for a moment to an event that is going to take place after the millennium. And a little later on in this lecture, we're going to come back to this point, but I want to introduce our subject by referring to an event that will take place after the millennium. You see, folks, after the 1,000 years, there will only be two groups. One group will be the saved. They are in the holy city. Outside the holy city are the lost. Not three groups, but two groups. The saved in the city and the lost outside the city.